COVID breaking news and more with Dr. Anu.
For people living with HIV, keep being you and ask your doctor about Biktarvy. Biktarvy is a complete one-pill, once-a-day treatment used for HIV in certain adults. It's not a cure, but with one small pill, Biktarvy fights HIV to help you get to and stay undetectable. That's when the amount of virus is so low, it cannot be measured by a lab test. Research shows people who take HIV treatment every day and get to and stay undetectable can no longer transmit HIV through sex.
Serious side effects can occur, including kidney problems and kidney failure. Rare, life-threatening side effects include a buildup of lactic acid and liver problems. Do not take Biktarvy if you take dofetilide or rifampin. Tell your doctor about all the medicines and supplements you take if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you have kidney or liver problems, including hepatitis. If you have hepatitis B, do not stop taking Biktarvy without talking to your doctor. Common side effects were diarrhea, nausea, and headache.
If you're living with HIV, keep loving who you are and ask your doctor if Biktarvy is right for you.
Welcome to Plus Talk on Plus Life, where we are all about turning positive into a plus. And you know, it's been a minute since we've had a chat with my personal physician and my favourite doctor in the whole wide world. Dr. Anu Seshadri is joining me. But before we get into the nuts and bolts, happy belated birthday, Doc.
Oh, thank you, Carl. That's so sweet.
Well, I am a sweet person. We've got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. As always, thank you for giving us your time to go over this. First and foremost, we have what we think are election results from the medical community. What does it mean, President-elect Biden? Well, he wants to focus on the science with the pandemic. What about this new task force he's announced today? What's happening in your community? What are you guys hearing and hoping?
Well, we are hoping to further on what scientific developments, right? This is a new virus. I keep saying this is a new virus. We're still learning loads about it. We have a vaccine that's in the works, or multiple vaccine that's in the works, and it's about doing the research and carrying it forward and protecting the people of the country, of various countries, the world. So I'm really excited to see that being progressed as we learn more about this virus and how to protect people, and getting all the information that I can to continue to do so.
Some exciting news from Pfizer. Apparently their vaccine is showing to be 90% effective. What have you heard about this versus some of the other vaccine trials that are going on?
I think it's both Pfizer and BioNTech, right? I think there's two companies that they were saying that the vaccinations that have come out have been 90% effective. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what 90% effective means. Yes, in the population that they studied this virus on, or they gave, yes, it was shown to be 90% effective, but there still lies a lot of questions, right? How long does this virus protect an individual for? What we know that they're looking at short-term side effects, but what are the long-term side effects of this virus? And then lastly, does this virus actually protect all sorts of people from different ethnicities, from different medical backgrounds? There's a lot more questions, I think, that me as a medical professional, I would like to know more about, rather than it saying 90% effective. But given that, I do want to say fingers crossed, and this is what we need to move forward, as well as protecting the people.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, you and I have been talking about this for about 8 months now on Plus Talk, and we still, in many ways, I feel like we're still really at the beginning, although I know we have come a long way. The last time you and I spoke, things seemed to be looking up a little bit, certainly here in the United States, that, rates of infection seem to sort of be leveling off. Of course, now records are being broken with new cases. What does this mean for us heading into the colder months?
Well, number one, I really, really, really hope that this does not mean another lockdown. But at the same time, that means that it is high time that we become more vigilant again, especially during the colder months when viruses coupled with other types of viruses, right? The flu tends to be in season, so to speak. The other reality is that we don't have the outdoors anymore. There isn't more ventilation that you hear about protecting ourselves from COVID-19. So a lot of people are indoors, and this is where we we need to be more aware and we need to be more, I would say, cautious and adhering to your county as well as CDC guidelines of face masking, social distancing, and hygienic measures.
Yeah, it's interesting. I heard something the other day about, a lot of these new cases seem to be popping up from little groups of 2 or 3 or 4 people when they get together, of those that we assume from our close circle. Sure, there are the super spreader events, but this idea that, oh, we're friends and we see each other maybe 3 times a week and, they've been tested, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be okay, especially as we come into this holiday season. So many families and friends want to get together, Thanksgiving. What is your recommendation on that? And how accurate is that idea that, me meeting up with a friend that I might have seen 2 days ago and may not see until Wednesday, and who knows what he or she is doing in the meantime? Am I really opening myself up to risk? Do I need to really stay as isolated as possible?
It's such a tough question to answer, Carl, because it is the holidays and it's tough. Personally, it's tough too, because I haven't seen my family in months,
I haven't seen my parents and my family
right.
in over a year.
Yeah, yeah. Same thing with me. I'm just saying months because it feels better, right? Rather than saying a year. But I have been, and this is a question that I'm getting quite a bit from my own patients, and it's very tricky because it depends on a lot of factors. Number one, who is getting together in the family? Are there high-risk members that are getting into the that are going to be a part of this gathering? If so, you really need to take the measures to protect them. Number two, what are your travel plans? Are you taking a car going straight from your house to somebody else's? Are you flying, and the risks that come with flying? I would say number three, where is this gathering being held? Like we talked about, is it indoors? Is it tightly packed, or is it outdoors? For how long? And lastly, it's just, I'm saying that you want to hang out with people or family members that are taking the same precautions that you are taking, that same mindset, so that you can kind of guarantee yourself. And ultimately, of course, I know Dr. Fauci was saying on the news that, his kids are not coming to visit him in order to protect himself, and he's taking those extreme measures. But this is where, if you absolutely need to check on your grandma, grandpa, or even mom or dad who are high risk, then this is where I would say utilize your doctors as well as the testing sites to get tested as close to, when the event, or as close to the gathering too.
Now, you mentioned flu season there at the top. Obviously, we are in flu season. I'm a big advocate of getting the flu shot. I get mine every year. I just think it's sort of common sense. But a lot of people don't get the flu shot. Just clear up this myth. You and I have talked about this plenty of times. Just dispel the myth. If I get the flu shot, do I get the flu and get sick? The answer is?
There is no simple answer to this. And I'm so happy that you asked me this question, Carl, because I think there's a lot of confusion around the flu vaccine. Is the flu vaccine effective? Absolutely. So let's just educate on influenza or the flu virus, right? There's 4 different types, A, B, C, and D generally. A and B tend to infect humans more so. Under types A and B, there's different strains. Just like you heard about with coronavirus and COVID-19, there's different strains such as H1N1, H2N2, so on and so forth. So what the flu shot or the flu vaccine is that research is conducted to kind of predict which strains will be the most popular, so to speak, or the most deadly. And those strains are the ones that we're protecting people against. There'd probably be like 6 to 9 different strains that people are protected against with the shot. And that's why your flu vaccine, you take it every season because it changes up. So are you protected mainly against those 6 to 9 different strains? Yes, but can you still get the flu? Can you get infected with another strain of the flu that isn't covered in the vaccine? Absolutely. Am I making sense? So this is why you hear in the news, well, the flu vaccine wasn't great this season. Why? Because research didn't predict, or it wasn't a good match between the prediction
Right.
and the strains that are out there.
But Dr. Anu, I hear time and time again from friends of mine, oh, I don't get the flu shot because every time I get the flu shot, I get sick straight away, and I don't, like, they're giving me the flu. And I've spoken to plenty of doctors who've said the flu shot does not get you sick 2 days after because you got the flu shot.
No, but I mean, with other vaccines, I'm going to beg to differ, right? I think that
Okay.
if you look at other vaccines such as shingles, et cetera, like, I mean, there's a wide range. People react to the flu shot or vaccines differently. Some may feel a little bit more fatigued. Some may feel a little run down. Some may actually have a fever. So I can't say for sure that, yes, even when we give the flu shot, I'm not going to say for 100% you're not going to be sick, because there is
Right.
still a chance that you might. Now, there's always risk
Interesting.
versus benefit. Right. There's always risk versus benefits, right? Especially now. Would you like to be infected with both flu as well as COVID? No, you
No.
don't, right? So this is the
No, I
reason
don't
why
want
we're
either.
pushing it. No, but we don't know what the effects are going to be too if you do get infected with flu as well as COVID. What are the effects? Is it going to be twice as serious, twice as deadly? I don't know. So it's a personal preference, but at the same time, at least going into the season that you're protected against what is predicted to be the most popular strains that are out there.
I'm going to throw another question at you that you may not be able to answer, but let's say I get the flu shot and I do start feeling a little under the weather. Am I now more susceptible to getting coronavirus? Have I potentially put my body and my immune system at risk to getting this virus?
That's a really good question, Carl. And I'm going to say no, because with other vaccines that you get on a routine basis, just because you got the shot, are you going to be more at risk of getting the cold or whatnot? No, we wouldn't be giving the vaccines then. If anything, I think it's just going to boost your immune system, and give your immune system a little bit of a boost. So as far as what I know, the answer is going to be no. But
I love
then
that.
again, I don't know about COVID.
Well, we're all learning, and we certainly always appreciate the time that you make for us, especially on days like today, which I happen to know is your official day off. So thank you for making the time, as always, Dr. Anu. I hope one of these days, I get to see you on a social level and not just through the lens of my camera.
No, but at least I get to see your face, Carl. At least on Zoom, we get to see each other's faces. It's really sad. I think I would say that's the hardest part right now. Just after months and months and months, it finally dawned on me that I just got used to seeing people in my office with a face mask, and I'm only seeing their eyes and their hair, and I miss my patients. I miss seeing their faces. I do video visits and telehealth visits, but it's hard. So at least thank you.
It is hard, but you make a very good point that at least, thank goodness, we do have the capability and the means to have this kind of communication. And as we enter into the holiday season, there are a lot of people who are by themselves, a lot of people who live with HIV or others that suffer with depression, and count on these times to be around friends and family to pull them through some of these times. It's not ideal, but at least we have this. Dr. Anu Seshadri, as always, love you to bits. Thank you so much. That is going to do it for this episode of Plus Talk on Plus Life. If you want to review what we've talked about, head to the website, pluslifemedia.com, and be sure to follow us across social media. We are at Plus Life Media. Until next time, stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands. I'll see you next time.